yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey, and as always, riding with me, Shotgun, my boy Tommy. What's going on, brother?
What is going on, Mr. Mikey? Happy Friday to you. I know you need it because you've been recovering from the sickness and work has been crazy for you, and you need this weekend. Labor Day weekend, matter of fact.
I'm ready for this weekend. It's a long weekend. It's a 3-day weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Also, it means it's the last weekend without football.
Damn real. Well, college football started this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm rocking the Hurricanes gear. Gotta rock. It's all about you. Who's three? Yeah, Hurricanes. They're playing right now against the other Miami team, Miami of Ohio.
So
10-0.
Who's three? Number
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. So that's the old Frank Gore jersey.
Old Frank Gore jersey.
Nice. Okay. You know, former Buffalo Bill.
Damn,
I like that.
We got a few of those. By the way, Miami Hurricanes.
That's one of my favorite intros, Sophia, of all of them. Is that thing gets me so excited to come on here and chat.
Real quick shout out, and I want to talk to you guys real quick about something that we just started here at Mafia Sports Report. So, we have started a membership option here. So if you guys want to support the channel by joining the membership group, you can. It's $4.99 a month. You don't have to do it, but it gives you a little bit of perks. We'll do like videos that are just for members and access first to some of the videos that we put out, newer videos, and obviously just some other stuff. And it's just really, you're just doing something good for the channel, helping support the channel along the way. But like I said, once again, you don't have to do it. It's just something that YouTube's offering for content creators. And I thought, we'd go ahead and do that. So Greg, who I had up real quick. Sorry, Mikey. Greg, who I had up real quick here. He is our first member who joined today. So thank you, Greg, for becoming a member of Mafia Sports Report. We really do appreciate that. And yeah, we hope other people go ahead and subscribe to that.
And then we have another new thing that we're going to test tonight.
Yes. We have no idea how.
We don't know how it's going to work, but Tommy set up a call-in number for everybody. So if you want to call in and ask questions, you can. However, you won't be able to stay on the line, as you won't be able to hear me. You'll only be able to hear Tommy if you stay on the line. So call in, ask your question, bounce off, and then you can listen to the answer. But
on YouTube,
yeah. So that's what we'll do later on in the show. But let's start with right here. Spin coming in saying Barkley's gone for good. What are we gonna do now? Well, we signed a new quarterback.
We did.
His name is Shane Bushnell. He was, depth roster with the Chiefs. I don't think Barkley's gone for good. I think Barkley is gone until he's healthy, and then he'll have a chance to re-sign back to the practice squad. That's just
you think he'll have two backup quarterbacks on the practice squad? Because the other
I think Bushnell's is just holding. Barkley's, is just holding Barkley's spot. So. Yeah, because we put him on IR beforehand, so we couldn't bring him back.
Okay. I don't know. I saw a little bit on that guy. He's intriguing. I believe he's 6'5" as well. He's a taller quarterback, mobile. I mean, I'm not saying he's anything special, but I saw some highlights in KC. He looks okay. I mean, he's a younger guy. I think they drafted him 2 seasons ago, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I mean, once again,
A
It's
little Bobby
practice squad.
Boucher. Yep, a little Bobby
Yep.
Boucher. Is Kirksey signing to the active roster? Not right away, Steve. He signed to the practice squad as he gets up and familiar with the defense. He comes from he played under Al Holcomb and Steve Wilkes, who run a Sean McDermott type defense, as they both worked for Sean in Carolina. So he does have some experience in this defense. It's a matter of learning the play calls and the in the language. You know, once he gets that, I have a feeling he'll be up, because I have a feeling he's going to be our starter by probably week 4. That's just my take.
I do too. Yeah. I mean, well, I'll tell you what. I think it all depends on how fast he catches on to the playbook. And the one thing about, you know, him, or at least, you know, what he says, he's just a quick learner. He's a veteran. He's been around a while. He catches on pretty quick with, you know, playbooks. And if he catches on quicker, you may see him a lot sooner than that. I think it just all depends on how comfortable they are with putting him on the field, how ready he is as far as the playbook goes. Because other than that, he's ready to go. He was in. It's not like he was sitting not doing anything. We just signed him. He needs to knock that rust off. Like, he was in the Houston Texans playing preseason. You know what I mean? Like, so he's ready to go. It's just a matter of learning the playbook and how comfortable McDermott is bringing him up. But hey, who knows? We could see him week 2, week 3. I mean, it just all depends on, you know, when they feel he's ready.
Yeah, and Jessica Tennis comes in and says Barkley will be hired as assistant coach. She thinks. I think that's Barkley's calling. He seems to be that type. You know, he'll be the assistant quarterback coach. You know, I think he can head down the Ken Dorsey, you know, way of doing things. He seems like that type of guy who will always want to stay involved. He's just not gifted enough physically to play. Mentally, he's fine. He makes a lot of the right reads. Physically, he just doesn't have the gift. So we talked about Kirksey, that was in there. Will Mike Evans be traded, and should we be interested? Mike Evans' contract will prevent us from being able to trade for him. Now, Mike Evans becoming a free agent next year, that's a whole different story, because then you're not taking on his last year of his big deal this year. Unless they're willing to eat a bunch of the money, I don't see us being interested in bringing them in. I mean, as it is, we only have 5 wide receivers on the roster, active roster right now. So I doubt it. I can see them trying to trade Evans by week 8, but I don't know where that would fit. It's hard to do trades in season.
I think it boils down to how far we are, how far along the wide receiver group is on this team by mid, you know, week 7, week 8. You know what I mean? Like before the trade deadline. If we're having problems like we were last year, yeah, maybe Bean gets on the phone and works something out where it makes sense. And Tampa's willing to eat a little bit of the contract. You know what I mean? We have enough damn draft picks. We can figure something out sending them. So, and we even have, you know, you never know. You can send a player or 2 or whatever to make it work. But, and they eat the contract of a player we send over, which kind of helps as well. But I think it all depends on how this group does, this wide receiver group. If everything goes as planned, then no, there's no reason to reach out and trade for Evans. You could do that in the offseason, figure that out if Gabe Davis winds up leaving in the offseason. So I wouldn't think about that now, so least in my mind is getting him over here, unless, like I said, we have a problem, you know, midway through. And then I would say, yeah, Bean needs to pick up the phone there and figure out something out.
Yeah. Matt Chatter comes in and says, guys, is there any Kirksey weakness I'm missing? Why was he available? He's available because he was released. It was a cap cutting move in Houston. Does he have weaknesses? Yes. Everybody has weaknesses in their game. He is average at pass coverage. He is really smart. You know, he's also 31, so he's a little bit older. Some say he may have lost a step. I didn't see it in the film that I've watched. He had like 106 tackles last year, you know, 2 interceptions, a bunch of pass breakups, was solid. But he's just average in pass coverage. But that him being average in pass coverage plus the positive he brings is better than anything we have on this roster today.
Correct.
He's
Yeah.
a stopgap. He's a bridge middle linebacker to get us through until we get a next one. Because Spen is right. He's average.
That's fine. But
he's just better than what we have in house.
Yeah, there was not going to be good or great out there, right? We already blew that chance, right? So the only option was, and we got lucky, was Kirksey being available, and that kind of shows you, Mikey, the signing of Kirksey that quick. By the way, everybody was talking about it. It wasn't like this was like a surprise, like, oh my God, I can't believe they got Kirksey. Like, we all kind of thought this was going to happen in a way. It was just a matter of Kirksey deciding he wants to come here, but that tells me they do not trust the middle linebacker position. If that's one of your first, free agent pickups is Kirksey, and you didn't let him they probably didn't even let him leave the facility. And you got guys like Micah Hyde and Jordan Boyer calling this dude who they're friends with. I get it, but they know they know the deal. They know the deal. They know the defense. They know this team. They know what Dotson and Klein can't do, and they need a veteran in there that can manage this season at middle linebacker. That's where I see it.
Yeah, and considering the late timing of our acquisitions, Infetti and Kirksey, we are lucky we got both of them because they both had offers to go elsewhere and they decided to sign in Buffalo. Infetti isn't some all-world right tackle. He's an average backup who has starting experience who will play just right tackle, which means that we don't have to kick, Ryan Vandermark over to right tackle where he's not comfortable. So if something happens to Dawkins, Vandermark goes in at left. If something happens to Brown, Infetti goes in at right. You no longer have to. You don't have to have that swing, which is nice. Because Infetti is a right tackle only, really. It's one of the reasons why he didn't make the roster in Detroit. It's because he's only right tackle.
Yep.
Trick Simpson says the only guy I want from Tampa is Tristan Wirfs and Mike Evans. That's it. Yeah. Oh God, I would love to have a Tristan Wirfs. Because he's making the transition from right tackle to left tackle. And he was an all pro right tackle. We don't know what he's going to be at left. Bring him in, stick him at right tackle. I don't know. I don't know if we can afford his contract, but hey, I'll take him any day of the week.
Yep.
So when we look at this, it says Kirksey might make week 1 since he's familiar with the defense. He was without Holcomb. I don't think they'll bring him in to play week 1. I have a feeling.
Be shocked. I'd be very surprised.
I think it's going to be week 3, week 4 before you see him on the active roster. I can see them possibly elevating him week 1 and making him a backup.
I think he comes on. I do, Mikey. I actually think you see him week 1. I'm going to say is 50-50. I don't know about week 1 because it's so right around the corner, right? Mm-hmm. We just got him. He'd have to be really, dialed in on that playbook and ready to go where they're, you know what I mean? I think you possibly would see him, like you were saying. I was thinking week 2, you get on the 53, be there as a backup, kind of, put him in there slowly, kind of graduate, and then eventually you just start him week 3, week 4 once he gets everything down pat. But I could see him coming in week 2. Week 1 is a long shot for me, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe this guy catches on faster than we think.
Yeah, it would be awesome, wouldn't it? Spen comes in and says, Bean is a magician. We have 2 glaring holes after the preseason is all said and done, and we have a right tackle and a middle linebacker showing up on our doorstep. Right now, they're not world beaters, but they are solid depth guys that can play in this league, and that's what you need with. And we got them for cheap. And that's what we need for this team. Kirksey is the perfect bridge linebacker, whether it's going to be Dorian Williams next year as he gets comfortable and then learns and becomes the Mike, or we draft a Mike next year. Kirksey's that bridge guy, and he's still solid middle linebacker. We don't have to have all pros everywhere. We just have to have guys who can do their job. Get them in the calls. Get everybody lined up correctly and, execute their assignment. Kirksey does that. and Fetty does that at right tackle. I like the way this team's starting to shape out. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about the 53, Tommy. What was your
let's do
biggest?
it.
What was the biggest surprise for you?
I don't have a surprise because I'll say it's surprising because I was 50-50. I didn't know if Bean was going to actually do it, but trading Boogie. I said it though multiple times. I said it in the offseason. I said it week one, after week one in preseason, when it kind of felt like for me, like they were showcasing him very early on.
Mm-hmm.
And in that game, you know what I mean? Like he had reps quickly. And I was like, I don't know. They're probably showcasing him. And I think it kind of boiled down to AJ Epinesa, because listen, they got calls for AJ Epinesa. So teams were actually interested in Epinesa first from all the reports, and Boogie, right? And I just felt like, I think, man, the room is too full. It boiled down to, what Shaq Lawson's value is on this team, and he's our best run defender. And there was just no spot for Boogie. I thought Boogie had a good preseason. Don't get me wrong. But I think, they had to get something for him. And AJ just had too big of a step last year. Not a huge step, but a big step last year for them to, I think, move on and keep Boogie. It wouldn't make sense for me. So I guess that was a surprise, but I really wasn't. I would say Quessenberry, even though I'm glad they did, I thought they were going to keep him because McDermott loves that veteran type of player like a Quessenberry. And luckily, Bean did the right thing, and McDermott, and they got rid of Quessenberry and kept the younger guy. You know what I mean? So I'm happy they made the right decision there. But other than that, I think the 53 went down exactly how me and you thought it would. For me at least.
Yeah, only surprise was Kingsley Jonathan.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I thought he was in the practice squad. I thought he was good enough to make the team.
Right.
And we talked about this on our 53 show. I thought the only way they traded Boogie is if Vaughn was ready. And they had to let somebody go. So see Vaughn stay on the pup, then still trade Boogie, and give the final spot to Kingsley Jonathan.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to tip your cap to Kingsley for busting his ass
100%
making this roster. But you also have to understand that Brandon Beane has taken a lot of bashing from the Mafia on Twitter or on X. I give him credit for being willing to get off, realize the mistake that the guy is, and get off of him and not just double down on him.
Right.
So
a lot of GMs make that mistake. Keep a player around till his contract runs out, whatever, and he just winds up either being a distraction because he feels like he should play or whatever, or he just doesn't work out, and you just basically got nothing in return. Nothing at all. So I agree. I think listen, we all know he made the mistake. We knew he made the mistake when they drafted him. Let's be real. You can't, I don't think anybody watching that draft, I mean, maybe there's a few, but the majority of people watching that draft are like, why? Like, you know what I mean? And look what happened, right? A few years down the road, they wind up trading him. Like, it makes, like, I think we all kind of saw that coming, that it wasn't going to work out with him. So, listen, could he work out over there? Sure. New place, new system, possibly. I don't know, but it is what it is. We got a sixth, that tells you the value of what teams thought of Boogie.
We only got a sixth because we included a seventh with Boogie.
Right.
So we got the value of a seventh.
We saved a little salary cap though, right? I think
1.2.
I believe 1.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 1.25.
Okay,
is what we ended up saving on it. But it basically we traded 2 7s for a sixth. So basically we got Boogie's value was a seventh, which is fine. You got something for him. He wasn't going to make our team, so you end up getting. But what as Ben says, come on, Bean. I mean, yeah, that'd be great to get more, but the value is only what people are willing to give up, and then we couldn't get more than.
And you don't know how many calls were made for him.
Yeah.
it could have been very minimal. And it's not surprising it was the Giants. You know what I mean? Who knows? The other teams could have called and not offered. Maybe they just wanted AJ Epinesa. You know what I mean? I guarantee a lot of calls were made for AJ. AJ was intriguing. He had to step forward last year, but Boogie probably was very minimal calls. I can almost promise you. And the Giants, because Dable knows him and the GM, the former assistant GM over there. Yeah, why not? They took the roll of the dice on him for who cares? Well, even if Boogie doesn't work out in New York, what do they care? They gave up a 6th-round pick. Like,
yeah,
it's nothing. Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? We got off of it and saved some money. See, my only issue with Basham when we signed him was I didn't think he had a large ceiling because he was a 5th-year senior. He played 5 years of college football. So I thought he was kind of limited coming into the league, to where AJ was a true junior, and Groot was a redshirt sophomore when he came in. So they had a much larger, the ability to grow into their body. I didn't think Basham had that much, and I didn't see him grow that much inside of the league. I thought what you saw in college is what you saw in the league. Except I don't think we used him the way he should have been used either, because in college he was used also as a reduced D tackle, and we didn't do that very much with them. So at the end of the day, that's once again our coach is not using the players to the best of their ability.
Right. I agree.
So
I
it
agree
is
with
what
that.
it is, But from the quarterback standpoint, we knew it was going to be the Allen brothers, and then we brought in Mr. Boucher or Bouchel. The running back room was exactly what we thought it was going to be. I was surprised with the wide receiver room that after we put Shorter on IR, that we didn't re-sign Isabella or anybody like that.
Isabella went to the practice squad though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Isabella, Shavers.
Yeah, Shavers was the last one.
And Aitman
this week.
And Aitman. I think it was. Yeah, so it was Isabella, Shavers, and Aitman are the 3 that are on the practice squad. But we didn't sign one, so we only have 5 active wide receivers, which I guess is fine considering we probably just not give a game day spot to one of the wide receivers anyways. Right. So it's not a huge deal, but.
Right. And you got those guys waiting in the wing. I mean, just, you got Isabella, like I said, Isabella. I told y'all, Isabella wasn't going to get picked up. There was no need to worry. He could sit on the practice squad. I don't think anyone's taking that dude. And if we need him, fine. We'll pluck him up from the practice squad. But I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's good that I don't mind him being on the practice squad. He's a perfect practice squad player.
Yeah, no, I like all 3 of our practice squad wide receivers.
Yeah.
Shavers is that young kid who has the upside along with Shorter. Aitman is the guy that you can bring in a pinch if you need an outside guy, and Isabella is the slot guy if something happens to Hardy or Shakir. So I think we're fine there. I love this comment from Spin. He said Boogie was Joe Shane's guy when we drafted him. So Bean called him up and said, "Hey, you made us draft this guy. Now you give us something for him."
Right.
I love that. I love it. That's freaking hilarious. Hot take from Matt Jetter. Marcel Aitman could be okay in a pinch. I think Aitman, he was good with the Raiders when he played with them. He's probably a wide receiver 6'7" on an NFL squad, which is great for someone who could be called up, if an injury happens, that could be called up and fill in a pinch. It's not just Austin. Dunn716 says it sucks that we lost Austin. It's also Broker. They both got picked up. They both got picked up by the Texans. Broker was one of those guys that, man, I really wish we could have got him back. I like.
Did we wind up getting Garage though? Did he wind up going on? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's at least I liked him too. I liked his play, so I'm glad that they winded up at least getting one of the guys that I was high on. And Garage had a pretty good preseason, so I'm glad that they got him back on the practice squad.
I think Ingram played better than Austin too, but Ingram also has been in the league longer than Austin. We did get Ingram back on there. Yeah, the cool part, Dunn, you're right. The cool part is that both Austin and Broker got a 53-man roster spot in Houston. So nothing says, because Kinsley Jonathan was signed last year off of waivers, and then we got him back later in the year. So there's nothing saying that we can't get these guys back if something happens and they get released later. But
right,
yeah, the Broker one was the one that I was a little bummed about. Austin and Broker may get some playing time in Houston. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of stuff. Sean, our buddy from Red, White, and Bills. This is the type of stuff that you kind of hope for when you have young guys who aren't going to make your roster. You hope they play well enough that another team picks them up and they have a shot to play somewhere else.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like Broker was great, but I love that we kept Alec Anderson. I think he would have been picked up too if we would have cut him.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
But we kept him as well. So so let's keep moving through the roster.
Yeah,
our tight ends. The 3 tight ends that we thought about. We have Knox, Kincaid, and Morris.
Oh, you mean this tight end over here?
Yes, that guy right there.
Shit. Oh,
that guy right there. I like our room. We kept Joel Wilson over Sternberger. I'll tell you, I don't know who I was listening to. I don't know if it was Joe Marino. I don't know if it was Cover One, but someone was talking about. They're like, I don't understand what's going on with Sternberger, because when you watch him play, he's super athletic and catch the ball, but he cannot stay in a locker room. He can't stay on the team.
Right.
Nobody wants him. Former 3rd-round pick that just can't catch on. So there's got to be something we don't see. That
I didn't care. I didn't care for him. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't. I mean, I didn't see anything that told me he's worth a roster spot or a practice squad. I just didn't see anything. Did somebody pick up Quessenberry? Wow.
Yeah, Minnesota signed him.
Very surprising. Hey, I wish him. Listen, he wasn't a bad guy. I will say this, like, wasn't like an asshole or anything. Like, he was I just think his time's up. You know what I mean? And I think certain players have that. Same with Saffold. Like, did Saffold ever get picked up? I don't think Saffold ever found a roster spot, right? So I think certain guys just eventually they just don't have it anymore. And I think that's the case for Quessenberry, because Quessenberry was a pretty good tackle over in Tennessee for a while. So he wasn't terrible. And obviously Saffold was a Pro Bowler, and he just hit, for some reason, he finally hit his wall, and that just so happened to be when we signed him, right? So
let's hit on Trig's comment here. He says, Jason Whitlock in his comments about Josh Allen not being committed, lazy, and all that. Listen, you can't listen to those talking heads. It's just clickbait. Because listen, James Jones was one of the biggest crap talkers about Josh Allen until this week, and then now all of a sudden he's come around, and now that the season's here, he's like, oh no, it's going to be the Dolphins and the Jets. It's going to be the Dolphins and the Jets. And then he goes on Speak with Shady, and Shady made him sign something saying he finally said something nice about Josh Allen. They all do it. Nick Wright does it. Jason Whitlock does it. Even Chris Sims and Florio said the Bills were going to be 3rd and could be 4th this year.
He's not committed. He's the one guy that I think everyone can agree that doesn't like the Bills knows Josh Allen puts everything out there. Lazy. He's very committed. Lazy. That's right. Yeah, lazy.
It's a lazy take
because what? Because you saw him in the offseason playing golf. Like, honestly, this is what it is. They think that every guy off season should just, any video I see, this guy should be working out on the football field.
Have the guys in town.
Right. Yeah. Don't you dare be playing golf. You went on a vacation with your girlfriend? What?
Right.
It's like, so don't listen. We all know what Josh Allen's about. People that watch Buffalo Bills, the true fans, right, which all y'all are, right? Y'all know what Josh brings to the table. So until the day where I'm like, Mikey, damn, Josh not looking good. He's very throwing interceptions. He's looking lazy. Got a little gut on him. fine. Then I'll buy into that. For now, it's all bullshit. So leave it at that.
Josh actually looks thinner this year than he has
He
in a long time. Did you see the McAfee video? Like, he looked like he's thinned out.
No, he does. I guess what he does. He was because I watched. Was it that or something else?
He talked about on the McAfee video.
He does fasting.
Yeah.
He
does on the
So which listen, if he has nutritionists. Trust me, he has people telling him what you can do, what's right for your body. He's not an idiot. Like he is. He knows he's an athlete. He knows what he needs to do to get prepared for an NFL season. These guys are just clowns. Okay, so just a heads up.
It's just clickbait. Then they know you say something bad about the Bills that riles up the Mafia, and they're gonna flock all over it. Like, I don't listen to Whitlock anyways. Does he even know football? It's like listening to Chris Broussard, who's a basketball guy, talking about football.
Right.
Half of them don't even know like what player. Like, one of them, I can't remember which one it was. One of them talked about how Taylor Lewan was the left tackle of the Buffalo Bills when he was.
I remember that. That was a couple years back.
Yeah, it's just like you can't listen to those media guys. They don't have a clue.
No, they're just going on whatever they think that could generate people watching. By the way, did Jason Peters sign with a team?
I haven't seen him sign anywhere yet. It's just,
I still would take a flyer on him. I really would.
But with Infetti, Garage, and Vandermark, I don't see a spot for him on a roster. Who are you gonna get rid of?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to re-examine everything. But the thing is, I mean, we'll see. He's an older guy. I don't know if anyone's rushing to sign him. But I would say, hey, keep an eye on him because you never know with injuries. You know how that is, Mikey. Especially leading up in practice, guys sometimes get hurt left and right. So I wouldn't hate it. Like that's what I'm saying. But I agree with you. Like, where would who would you get rid of? I'd have to see the active roster like totally and see. Okay, maybe we put this guy down the practice squad and pull. I don't know. That's a tough one. You might be right on that one.
Yeah. It's one of those things, the whole Nick Wright thing. I can't listen to those guys because they're like, they took a step back. Like they talked about, they always talk about last year. Like, look how they ended the season. They almost lost to a toothless. I'm like, but you're not talking about how we didn't have Vaughn and we didn't have Hyde. We half of our D line was hurt. Jordan Poyer was back. You don't talk about any of that stuff. So,
right.
It's just
anything that happened to the team. Like,
that led up to that.
Like it's like, God, like they don't. It's funny, like I said though. Anytime they talk about the Buffalo Bills from last year, they never want to bring up stuff like that because they're afraid for some reason it would be an excuse, or whatever, which it's not, and no one's making the excuse, but. The reality is we went 13-3 with a lot of crap that happened and injuries and off-field stuff. And I felt like, in a way, we almost overachieved with everything that happened if you really go back and look at it. And I almost want to say almost any team would have had a worse record, maybe not made the playoffs with everything that happened. Majority of the NFL teams. So they can say what they want. They don't bring that stuff up for a reason because they just want to bash the Bills just can't get it done. They're terrible. Allen can never get to win the big game. It's all crap, man. Like they don't actually watch our games. They only see the box score. They only see the end result, the score. They don't know anything. So I don't ever listen to them, for the most part. Even Colin Cowherd, who I like, Mikey. I do. I like Colin, but even him, like this, like he did this thing where it's like, I forget he was saying, but something about quarterbacks coming out of college that's not going to win a Super Bowl. And there were some guys he was naming it's not even in the NFL anymore. One guy he passed away. The guy for Washington. What was his name? The guy that got hit with the truck or whatever. Yeah, you know him. The guy hit with the dump truck in Florida. He was playing for the Steelers at the time. Quarterback. Guys, help me out, chat. You know who he was. He was a first round pick for the Washington. Played for Washington. He was a quarterback.
Hoskins?
Yes. He was saying
the quarterback for OSU?
Yes, the guy that got killed.
Okay,
He was playing for.
yeah.
He was one of them, and he was doing a list, and he was like, "He's not going to win a Super Bowl." Yeah, he's not alive, bro. Like, obviously, he's not going to win a Super Bowl. So, like, he was naming guys that aren't even in the league. Like, it's like, dude, like
Dwayne
you
Haskins.
are now. You know what I mean? Like, you're national media, right? And it's like, how the hell do you not even realize these guys aren't even around anymore? Stop. So, like, you could tell right there. A lot of these guys are just.
And Nick Wright is a huge Chiefs homer. You know, it's no different than those that were the big Patriots homers when Brady was there, and they just always gobbled up everything.
He's big time. Yeah.
You know, so I don't watch much of them, you know, because they don't look at what really goes on. You don't know who I listen to? I listen to the analytic guys, you know. And you know, most of the analytic guys say you go back and you take what the Bills lost last year in injuries, and plus what they added in the draft and the free agency, they net out as one of the better, most improving teams of this offseason.
I couldn't tell you the last ESPN show I watched. I'll be honest with you. Like FS1, like I said, Cowher once in a blue moon, but even that, I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch more YouTube content, like, you know, from our end, you know, Locked On Bills, like, you know, guys that actually know what they're talking about, and they're not homers, and they're not, you know, bashing the team, but they're going to tell you the truth, and that's how I feel like me and Mikey do. But you're going to hear it real. You know, we may not always get it right, but we are at least know our team. We know our players. We're not going to be like, you know, Josh Allen hasn't worked out all season, Mikey. Terrible. He's got a shape. I don't have any.
Oh yeah.
No faith in this guy. He's no drive, Mikey. We'll never win with that guy. People need to get the hell out of here.
Triggsy also had Lawrence and Ridley, who hasn't played in 2 years, ahead of Allen and Diggs. Like it is what it is. It's just clickbait. They have a different media outlook. They don't really dig in to find out what's going on. So
they really don't. They really don't.
It is what it is. Yeah. You know, Sarah says, what big name players did Miami add this year besides Ramsey, who's out until December? None. They brought in a defensive coordinator. And they're not talking about it, but their star defensive tackle, Wilkins, hasn't reported yet and isn't planning on reporting because he wants a new contract.
I heard that too. Yeah.
They better pay contract to the backup.
Yeah, they better pay that dude. I agree. They really had no offseason. The one move they made, the guy's not even going to play till late December, and that's depending on their record. I think if they're a losing team that are not a chance in the playoffs by the time he's ready to go, I don't think he even returns this season. Why do that? It would be no sense. And then obviously their defense coordinator, I think that was a very good pickup for them because
I like their coordinator.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like once again, they still got a problem at quarterback. I think a guy
offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line, right? Which will go obviously bad on the quarterback since, you know, Tua cannot stay healthy and he's going to be getting hit again because the offensive line can't hold up. So they have question marks, huge question marks. So, yeah, man, I listen, man. Once again, Mikey, these teams got to prove it. We've already proven it. You know, bring it on. It's a new year. It is what it is, man.
Done 716s. I think I heard after cuts Wilkins did show up. No, they said they were tabling the talks for Tua and Wilkins. Wilkins hasn't showed up, and neither is Chris Jones in Kansas City. And Chris Jones says, "I'll see you week 8."
They better. Now, is Wilkins getting docked now though for missing practices?
No, because because he's still in his rookie contract.
Oh man, you're right. Wow, interesting. So he could really play the cards and play the cards close to his chest. Boy, oh boy, oh
like
boy.
Chris Jones is getting docked, and he said, "I don't care. I can afford it."
Right, he's a vet. Yeah, I get that.
He's a vet, but
if he can afford it, yeah.
Right? So you can skip practice and not get docked if you're in your first contract still. It's once you get that second contract, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. So let's hit back to the offensive line.
Yeah,
we kept 9. You know, we have our starters who, you know, Dawkins, McGovern, Morris, your boy Torrance and Brown. Then our backups is kind of what we thought. At tackle, we have Infetti, who we brought in, which I was really stoked about getting. I thought we were gonna. I wanted us to trade for him. So the fact that we got him for nothing is even better.
Right. Yeah.
And then Vandermark, and then on the inside we have Edwards, Bates, and Alec Anderson.
Yeah, and I thought, listen, man, if everyone can hold up, this is a much improved offensive line, guys, including depth and younger depth, right? Like we're not stuck with the older Questenberries now, right? We got young guys waiting in the wing. But the real question, like I said, is holding up, staying healthy. And if Spencer Brown can step up this season, which I think we're all hoping for, then I think his offensive line can do well. I think it's on the right track, Mikey. And I can see the run game getting better. I can see Josh Allen having more time in the pocket to go through his reads correctly. Listen, if they can hold up, Mikey, injury free, we're gonna have a good year. We really are, man. But I just think if that offensive line, suffers injuries or just isn't what we thought, it's going to be a tough year, I think, and another tough season.
I don't know, because the Bills were 13-3 last year with the
but I'm talking about tough as far as we have a tougher schedule this season, I believe, and you got to get that run game going, and Josh Allen cannot afford to get hits like he did last year. Now, mind you, we kind of got lucky last year in a way that it wasn't a season-ending injury for him on his UCL, but it could have been, right? And we got to protect Josh better. You have to. If you want to go far in the playoffs, you can. Because I really think, too, that's something else, Mikey, that's not talked about from last year. And nobody brings that up either, was the injury to Josh Allen. Nobody wants to talk about it. The guy couldn't even barely throw the ball, right? He had to change the mechanics up. I still don't think he was 100% right in the playoffs. So, yeah, you got to protect that dude. And like I said, if you want to run the ball better, it starts up front, man. And that will open up a lot. So, yeah, we need this offensive line to play better, Mike.
I think we will. Everything I've seen.
I think so too.
Everything I've seen.
I agree.
We're trending forward, and no one wants to talk about that either. That we got better. No one talks about how we drafted a stud right guard. We went out and paid a really good pass blocking left guard. We signed a Super Bowl champion guard to be the backup in case he can't go. We moved Bates back to his more natural position of backup center. Everything about it is I like what the Bills are doing.
Yeah, no, I do too, man. And like I said, younger. We got younger.
My favorite part of all of it is we're flying under the radar. Everyone's expecting us to suck this year.
All good, man. Yeah, all good.
So it'll be interesting. Let's switch over to the defense side of the ball. On the D line, we talked about it. Boogie Basham getting dealt out. We have 5 defensive ends. Vaughn goes on PUP, so he'll be gone for the first 4 weeks. He probably won't really return until week 6, is my guess.
Yeah.
After we get back from London, which is what we've called from the beginning.
Yep.
So we have Floyd and Rousseau who start. We have AJ, we have Shaq, and we have Kingsley Jonathan. And then we kept 5 D tackles, which we thought. We kept all 5 of them.
Yep.
Linebackers, we went with 6, which was kind of surprising. Then we went with 6. I had us hold on to 5. But then we kept them all. Klein got cut. That was nice. And we didn't bring him back.
No, we didn't. Which is surprising. It's another one of those, I guess, kind of surprising because that's a McDermott type of guy. But yeah, I was happy. I was okay with that move.
Yeah. Spencer, this is Jordan Palmer said the UCL injury was worse than when he hurt it and missed 7 games as rookie because he changed his mechanics. Josh was able to play through it. Yeah, but he messed up his throwing motion, which is part of the reason why he quit taking the check down, is because he couldn't get the torque on his arm to do that. He had to have an angle when he threw it, so he had to always go, mid to deep.
I you could see it in that, especially in that like Lions game. Like he was like, a couple games really underthrowing and overthrow. Like he was trying to adjust like in time almost. You know what I mean? And I think it was just really affecting. Like, but you could see a lot of balls were like thrown like really low or super high. Like, and that's not the Josh we know, and that's because obviously the elbow thing. So, yeah, new year, new Josh. He's all good. So,
yeah. And he looked real good in that. He looked real good in that.
He did,
and really, he looked fine in the 2 games. People
did.
were saying he looked bad in the Pittsburgh game. It wasn't him that played bad.
No,
Like he played. His drops were off. He was too deep, which caused a lot of the pressure.
Yeah.
But he didn't play bad. Patrick comes in and says Bean should have kept Edmonds. His only bad move. Not for $17 million a year. He shouldn't have kept him.
It's a lot of money, guy. Hey, Patrick, listen, I think this will happen. I think the middle linebacker, I think Kirksey's going to fill in just fine for the year. They know Kirksey's not the long-term answer, but
yeah,
fill him in for the year. And I think he can fill in just fine, especially knowing the players like who are behind him. He's a vet. And then you do what you got to do in the draft, or you see what you really have in Dorian Williams again. Even though they said he's going to be an outside, I still think that Dorian Williams has an opportunity to become a middle linebacker. And if they don't feel that, then screw it. Do it in the draft. Trade up, whatever you got to do. You got 1 million picks now. Figure it out, because you don't have cap really to go out there and get a solid middle linebacker. But you could trade up with one of your 20,000 picks, right? And get yourself a second round or even first. I mean, depending on how good this player is. A middle linebacker that you know is going to be a middle linebacker, not a guy you draft and go, well, maybe he could be middle, maybe outside, maybe special team. Like, no, I don't want that. I want a guy, we know it's middle linebacker. We know this guy can start day one. Do what you got to do. So that's, I think,
Jack Campbell.
Exactly. And I think that's what they do next season. But right now, I think that, like I said, Mike, I think they were hoping that Dotson can hold the fort down, and it was a bad gamble.
Yeah. The whole Oliver thing, they're gambling on Oliver, breaking out.
They are too.
Yeah. It's a premium position, so they gave the money there rather than giving it to Edmonds. Okay, yes. Roy says that DT is a more of a premium position than middle linebacker. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, middle linebacker in our system, because really Milano is the key to our linebacker core. He's the guy who runs around and makes plays.
Mm-hmm.
So, but getting Vaughn was overrated as of now. Vaughn was on pace to have like 15 sacks last year until he got hurt. I wouldn't call Vaughn overrated, or us getting Vaughn.
Yeah,
man. It was a weird accident that happened. Vaughn was playing fantastic.
Yep.
Until he got hurt.
You saw, matter of fact, when Vaughn went out, is when our defense really took a hit as far as getting pressure to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Even run defender, because Von Miller's an excellent run defender as well. And our guys weren't yet ready to step up. When he went out, I think they are now, but I also feel like they got Leonard Floyd for a reason as well, because I still think they think Gregory's a little bit still learning. He's not quite where they, feel like they're 100% comfortable with him, but he's getting there. And I think he's going to have a 10+ sack season, but they got Floyd for a reason. And listen, Von Miller, I loved it. I disagree. I think that's a great signing. He was on pace to, like Mikey said, at least 15 sacks. If he can stay healthy this year, now mind you, he's going to probably obviously, miss a handful of games there, but I could see him getting 10+ sacks. Yeah, when he returns, depending on what week he returns. I'm good with it. And I have a feeling, Mikey, too, that Floyd's going to average. I think he's going to get 9 again. I think he's going to go on his average, what he's averaged the last 3 seasons, in my opinion. And we're going to do when we do our whole prediction show, do our records, we'll do a little bit of those funny, over-under predictions as far as sacks and yards and touchdowns. We'll do that, I think, Monday. You want to do that Monday when we're doing all the because I think Monday we're doing the predictions, correct?
Yeah.
For the season?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll do the over-under too. We'll make it a whole show of predictions and over-unders, and we'll have fun with that.
Yeah.
But I think Floyd gets 9, and I think Rousseau goes over 10. But we'll do that Monday.
Yeah. You can say that about anybody. On pace and doing it, he didn't.
Yeah,
You can say that
100%.
about anybody. But you know what no one's talking about is the quiet 8 sacks that Groot had last year. He had
Exactly.
8 sacks last year, and it was a quiet 8 sacks.
It was. Yeah.
He was banged up down the stretch. Trying to get over the ankle injury that he never really got healthy from. He's coming in
Mhm.
healthy this year. I have a feeling you're going to see a different Groot this year. I also, once Vaughn gets back, you're going to see a NASCAR package of Vaughn, Oliver, Groot, and Floyd together, and that's going to be
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that.
because Groot's going to kick inside, and he's a mismatch inside.
That's
So
I think
it's gonna be
that's
fun.
when I think that's when McDermott will really shine once Vaughn
Mhm.
gets back, as far as exotic looks go.
Yeah.
Because then he can do a lot of different things and really confuse the offense. I'm excited for that. I really, really am, because now you have two veterans in Floyd and Miller out there on the field. And man, my God, like what our defense is going to do, right? And then you got a young Groot, right, coming around the edge or lining up on DT. Man, it's crazy. The things we could do, by the way. And not only you're not even mentioning Taylor Rapp being on the field
Yeah.
same time with Hyde and Boyer. Like, I'm super excited. Like the things that McDermott has right now, the toys he has, man, dude, there's so much that he
Well,
can do.
it's on both sides of the ball. There's so many
Yeah, you're right
new
too. On
weapons
offense,
on both sides of the ball.
100%.
With Sherfield and Hardy and
Yeah.
Kincaid.
Yep. Yep.
We have so many new weapons this year.
Yep. I agree.
It sounds like they're going to deploy James Cook the way we wanted him to deploy him last year, which is
Right.
nice.
Right.
You saw
Right.
Josh checking down in the preseason, getting the ball out of his hands quick to the guys to let him make plays after the catch. If Josh really takes that next step and becomes that guy who gets the ball out of his hand quick and lets his guys, puts them in position to where they can get run after the catch, that's going to be a game changer for the Bills offense.
I agree. And what's next on the list there? Are we done with that?
No. So then the last position is the secondary. We kept 11. It's all the guys that we thought we were going to keep. We have Trey, Dane, Benford, Elam, Sharon Johnson, Sharon Neal, and then the 5 safeties. Because Cam Lewis made the roster, so it's the 11 that we thought, and then our 3 specialists.
Deservingly. Yeah,
Yep.
deservingly. Yep.
Yeah. I think this is the best Bills team that we've had under the McBean era.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I said it. I think it's the best off season as far as just getting depth, getting younger. The draft I thought was really, obviously the 2018 draft's where it's at. You can't ever beat that. You get Josh Allen, but I thought this draft was one of Bean's better drafts as far as really nailing some of the picks. The first two,
the early
right?
picks.
Yeah, the early picks, of which lately he's
struggled
it's
with.
been a question mark, right? Yeah, I mean, some of the guys are still like, obviously we want to see. I think Ed Oliver we can go back one day, hopefully this year, and be like, hey, Ed Oliver first round, yeah, hell yeah, he's first round. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully he'll get to that, and that's I think where they gave him the contract they're banking on. And Elam, we'll see, but you're right. I now, mind you, they haven't done anything yet. Kincaid and Torrance has not. We haven't even seen game 1 yet. But if everything, goes the way we think it will, the way preseason went with those guys, we got ourselves some really good picks there.
Yeah, excited about that. Spin comes in and says Josh did take the checkdowns in the Pats game in the playoffs and ended up having one of the greatest. That's the thing. If Josh is willing to take what the defense gives him, and he talks about it in the offseason, the thing he worked on this offseason, not only ball placement, but was making those smart decisions of getting the ball out of his hands. Him and Dorsey talked about it. Running plays that Josh feels comfortable with those short ones. If they do that, the Bills are going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you got a big slot like Kincaid, who just knows how to get open. You have the speed demon and Hardy, a sure-handed guy in Sherfield. Then you have Gabe Davis, who's healthy now. Maybe he takes that step this year that we've been hoping for.
He sure looks like he's on a mission to prove a lot of doubters wrong. a lot of critics, whatever you want to say, but he had himself a hell of a camp. To me, besides Kincaid, I think Gabe Davis probably had, like, if we had a rank camp, right? Like who stood out the best, 5-star. I would say Gabe Davis will probably be the top on my list, at least, who shined the most. And I would say Kincaid, and obviously Diggs did his thing, but I just think Davis, from everything I heard and saw, played his best had his best training camp, had his best preseason. I mean, he looks the par. Dude looks legit. He looks ready. And we'll see. I'm very interested to see what the Bills do with him. If he's having a really good year, like, you know what I mean? Like deep into the regular season, if Bean figures something out with his contract. Very curious how that goes, because I think he's going to have one of those really solid year, one of those 1,000-yard receiving year. And that's when Bean needs to ask himself, okay, Trent Sherfield's here on a 1-year deal. Because I think Sherfield's going to also have a good year. So then I think he's going to have to ask himself, who do I keep here? Right? Do I give Sherfield, maybe he's a cheaper extension? Do I just go out and give Gabe or do I just say, I can't afford, I'll just have to go to the draft? You know what I mean? Because we lose them both. I'm just saying, then we really have to draft well, or we have to pick somebody up. And I don't, with the, the cap the way it is,
I don't think that we would lose them both. I think he signs one of the two.
Exactly. I agree. And I just, obviously Sherfield might be the cheaper option. Yeah. But once again, can you get Gabe at a discount maybe during the season?
You can today. I don't think you can once the season starts and he starts having a really good season.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Very interested how that goes.
Trek Viewer comes in and says the Bills can go 5D line with Vaughn, Oliver, Jones, Groot, and Floyd, with Rapp and Johnson and Dime set. Although I love that idea, I don't ever want to see Matt Milano come off the field.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Like adding a 5th D lineman and then going with Rapp and Johnson, you lose Matt Milano. And I think he's one of our best players. I don't want to see that.
Right.
Ooh. Spears Billsaw comes in and says Josh is only going to have 5 interceptions this year.
Hey, I'll take it. That'd be great.
There was a question here. Sarah comes in and says, someone remind me what Diggs' stats were in the 2021 postseason. They weren't great. In that 21 postseason, he didn't.
That's when he
hasn't had fantastic postseason games.
Yeah, the 2021 was, what was that? That was the Chiefs one.
Yeah.
I thought that was the year he did. Yeah, he did. I thought it was the year before he didn't have a good. The 2020 is where he struggled. I could be wrong, but I thought 2021 his numbers were good. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Because I know he had a hell of a game versus the Chiefs. And then the game before that, I think we played, was it the Patriots or Ravens that year? I think it was the Ravens, right? I could be wrong on that.
He has 59 catches, 836 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 12 career playoff games. That's it.
Yeah.
His 2021 stats, he had 6 catches for 67 yards. In 2021. 2022, he had 11 catches, 149 yards. In 2020, he had 20 catches for 311 and 2 touchdowns. So 2020, he had a good postseason, but that's the only good postseason he's had in Buffalo. And it's part of the reason why he was so pissed last year. We're losing it, and we weren't.
You're right, because You're right. I'm thinking 20. You're right, because 2021. Well, to be fair, though, they doubled the shit out of him.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, right? And that's why Gabe Davis in 2021 had the huge game, because they were doubling him up. But you're right. I mean, listen, I think defense also has a lot to do with it. They doubled the hell out of Diggs, man, especially in the playoffs. So that's when other players need to step up. But I agree. You got to get him the ball a little bit more in the playoffs, though. But don't force it either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on the fence sometimes with that,
Yeah. Diggs didn't have stats that season, but he was the reason that, Gabe got his stats, and Dawson got his stats. Like, they were doubling him. I didn't see this one. Sarah comes in and says there were tweets circulating showing Diggs just stopping his routes and walking back. Imagine if teammates went around blasting him, saying, well, we would have won if we had a wide receiver one that ran routes. I don't know. I don't know about that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. That's interesting.
Yeah. You can't use. He had 7 yards against them, but he also only had 6 catches. Only had 10 targets. He had 10 targets in the 2021 postseason. He was
However,
six catches for 10 targets.
But if we win that game, no one's talking about that. I gotta throw that out there. And he is the reason why Gabe had that game. I'm just throwing that out there too. Like, so if we win that game, I think Diggs gets more complimented that he brung the defense his way and opened up the field for Gabe Davis. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there, so, but when you lose, I think it doesn't matter, right? Everyone gets the finger pointed at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think there's the issue that everyone talks about the Diggs drama and thinks that if the Bills lose a game, it's going to come back. I don't. I think, Diggs was pissed that he wasn't used and we lost.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. The dude hadn't,
I still don't even know.
I mean, he had 10 targets. He had 10 targets in that game.
Yeah. McKenzie. And by the way, McKenzie got cut by the Colts. He's a free agent.
No, he's on the Colts practice squad.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so they picked him up. So either way, he's not on the 53. So it kind of tells you, like, a lot about McKenzie. Though I didn't hate McKenzie here. I didn't. Don't get me twisted on that.
I love Diggs.
100%. Yeah, my feeling about the Diggs thing. Like, I don't even think it was. Because he's been on record or he's done interviews where he's like, look, I don't care about how many targets. Like, I know for a fact he said that. I don't care about the targets. I don't care. I just want to win. He wants to win football. He wants a Super Bowl. Like, he don't want to get exited out, right? But he also feels like if we get exited out and he's not involved, then I get that part. You get what I'm saying? At the same time, but I think it's more about, for me, and I've been saying it's the coaching. I think plain and simple. It's why do we keep landing in the same predicament year after year after year after year, and we have the same coaching staff in play? Like, why can't we get this thing together? And I think all that got cleared up, guys. He's a captain now, team captain again. He's happy. I think him and McDermott are on a good page now. You know what I mean? And everything's good now.
That's why I didn't understand Sarah's comment here. He said, but how long is he going to keep the crap up? Because he's.
I don't care.
Is there something still going on out there that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, about Diggs being upset anymore. I know he got voted team captain.
Granted, I'm not on X, so I don't see all of the crap that goes on out there and all the stuff. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything. None of the content people are talking about it, or the the beat writers are talking about it. If there's a problem,
I've heard nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
What makes you think he's taking shots through the media?
Maybe early on. I believe that, like, early on, like, and I've talked about this with Mikey. I think he. Listen, I said it earlier. I don't think he handled it well, in my opinion. And mind you, we all have our opinion. Mikey feels different. I think he handled it a little wrong. However, I also don't think McDermott handled it right either, right? And once they got it figured out, it's cool. But I agree somewhat. I think early on, after the playoffs, I think he was throwing some shade, some weird messages out there, and getting Bills Mafia a little hyped up, and he probably was taking it he did it the wrong way. But everything's done with. Like, that is done. You see they're getting along. You see that it had nothing to do with Josh Allen. They already had their sit down and talk. All's good, all happy. Voted team captain again. He's ready to rock and roll. Winning cures everything. And let's just get this thing right. That's all. I think that's all it's about.
Yeah,
Get this thing right. Get back on track.
Whitlock's a moron. You know, I don't listen to him anyways. He can say whatever the
Yeah.
hell he wants at the end of the day. Well, let's move on. You know, Diggs is fine. I'm over the Diggs stuff. Unless he comes out and says something, I don't listen to all that other crap. I don't think he's taking shots.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
real quick, anyone want to call in because we want to test this out? The number's there on the bottom of the ticker. Now, we have no idea how this is going to work out, but if you call in and you want to ask a question real quick, just ask the question, say, go Bills, hang up, and then listen on YouTube so me and Mikey can answer. But try it out. Let's see if it works. I'm curious. I want your feedback. So anybody, I don't care what question you have, call if you can real quick. And I just want to test this out.
And the number is 313-314-2760.
Yeah, it's right there on the bottom. You can't miss it.
so we'll see. Other than that, there's been a lot of stuff going on around the league, Tommy. Have you seen what's going on around the league?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I have you for, Mikey. You give me those updates.
If you're always waiting on me, sometimes I ain't catching on.
I gotta wait. This is what you do on Friday night. You gotta give us the updates.
Yeah. Travis Kelce's plead for Jones to end his holdout. Did you see that?
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I went out, talked about it. Said, "Oh, how old is Evans? Evans is 31. Mike Evans is 31. Or Trick says he's 30. I think he turns 31 this season. I don't know if he's 31 now. I know they were just talking about it. And then, Mike Evans set his contract for week 1. If they don't have it done by week 1, he's not talking contract with them anymore.
Wow.
And he's in the last year, so it'll be interesting. Did you see that the Patriots cut Bailey Zappi and put him on the practice squad?
I did.
And they brought in Matt Corral as the backup.
Surprising. That is surprising.
Why the hell did we sign this nobody when we could have signed Bailey Zappi?
You got a call.
All right.
Let's see how this works, guys. Hold on.
Call from Jacob.
Oh, it's Jacob. It's our buddy Jacob. What's going on, Jacob? Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. What's your question, bud?
My question is, it's not a question, it's a statement about the Bills this year.
Repeat your question, Jacob.
It's not a question, it's a statement about the Bills this year with the Super Bowl. The Bills should put all the marbles on the table this year.
Oh, okay. All right, Jacob. Thank you for the call. We're gonna hang up on you, okay? And we'll answer your question. So, did you guys hear that, by the way, real quick in the chat? Was that fine? Because we're testing this out.
Did you
hear it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, his question was, should the Bills push all their cards into the middle of the table and go all in for the Super Bowl this year? So Tommy, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. Let me ask you this question. Don't go out and go Mike Evans trade, start getting all this deep in salary. What are we talking about here?
Would you pull?
It was echoing. Dunn said, "Well, maybe because he." Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe because he had his. Well, listen, guys, when you call, you got to mute your YouTube until you hang up because you're going to have double feedback. I think that's what happened with when he called. Just a heads up. Can't have both playing. Just like when you call on a radio station, can't have your radio on. Go ahead, Mike.
So would you pull a Rams and trade
the
picks next year and do that type of stuff for a Super Bowl?
For a Super Bowl? For a guaranteed Super Bowl?
No, not a guaranteed. To take the shot at the Super Bowl.
No, I can't. You got to do it the right way, Mikey. For as much as I want a Super Bowl, Yeah, I've been dying for one.
Mhm.
We've never gotten one, obviously. No, I can't because I feel like this team's heading in the right direction. We're gonna get there. So I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't either. I would not go all in. I like the way our team is structured today. Like as it is, we're gonna have some tough decisions next year from a contract standpoint, and we're gonna lose some guys just to get under the cap. Because we've kind of gone all in this year based off of some of the contracts that we have. Like next year's the last year of Vaughn's guarantees, so it's going to be a bigger contract. Josh is pushing the 50 something million cap mark next year. If we restructure Josh again in 2025, Josh is going to be 60 plus million. So it's going to be one of those things of I trust Bean will be able to work it out and he'll keep us competitive. I don't want to see us, use the rest of our cap space that's going to screw us in a year or two to try to make it. I want us to stay, competitive and in the Super Bowl window as long as possible.
Roy has a great point. We do have 2 AFL championships, buddy. So don't want to forget about that. Way before my time, though. Anybody else want to call in, by the way, before we get off, before we get out of here? Remember, if you call in, mute your YouTube. So call in, ask a question, hang up, and then obviously listen on YouTube, and we'll answer your question.
Bean will be able to keep this team for at least one more year. Might lose Floyd and Puna, but we still have another year. We're about 25 million over cap based off of projections right now. So we would lose more than that because Hyde's going to be gone because he's in his final year. So we have a lot of those 1 year guys that we might lose. It'll be interesting to see how I have a feeling they're going to extend some guys and set the cap up to bring some guys' cap numbers down. They could do it with Josh again if they wanted, but then at some point we're gonna have to take our medicine on Josh's cap number.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see when we do that. The cap will increase because what they haven't baked into the cap is all the gambling and the new
deal, the
TV deal. Yeah, the new YouTube deal. So it'll be interesting to not just YouTube. It's also
is it Peacock,
Amazon, the Amazon deal for Thursday Night Football. So it's the new media rights deal. They just signed the new media rights deal that can kick in next year, along with the gambling money. So it'll be interested to see what the new caps will be.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh God, yes, Dallas. Would love to see an opening night win. I hope it's a big win too. I want to see us go in there and just put a beat down on the Jets just to shut everybody up. That'd be awesome.
I can't wait, man. We are like so close to opening night, man. I'm so pumped, bro.
Next Friday, our show next Friday will be our first
preview
game.
Yep. And don't forget, guys, so this Monday coming up, Monday, still 9:00, but after that, we will be right after Monday Night Football, which we will be doing a post game of the Bills Jets. So just a heads up on that.
Yikes. It's $480 for Sunday ticket now. Yikes.
Yeah, they raised the price. Crazy, bro.
Raise that cap. If we're paying $480 for Sunday ticket, you're right. Raise that cap. Oh, you're nervous. Wild. Sarah's nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Honest, like, you don't get me wrong. The Jets are a good team.
Defensively.
Yeah. Offensively, they have some firepower. It's going to come down to if the offensive line can hold our defensive line.
Right.
That's what's going to come down to. So
and can Aaron Rodgers connect with the younger receivers and a new offense, really, It's another year that he's aging, right? I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're going to click right away, I'm not nervous. I think the East in general, besides the Patriots, I think they all improve slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jets improve the most, I guess, because of you got to give them credit for the Aaron Rodgers signing. They got a very good defense and they're very young. But they still have question marks, just like the Dolphins, just like the Patriots, and even us, we have some question marks. But no, don't be nervous on that game. We've ruled the East. We played them, we beat them once last year. They beat us. But I feel like we've gotten better too. So we'll see. We shall see, man.
We did split with them last year, and we did have trouble moving the ball at times. But you have to remember, this is a different offense. We have a different offensive line. We have different skill position players. Dorsey in year 2, which bringing back, like last year, we had to run 4 wide receivers most of the time, or 3 wide receivers. We were 11 and 10 personnel most of the year. We're going to be running some 12 personnel now. It's a different game when you bring in that. We can dictate to the defense rather than the defense dictating to us.
And you also got a different defense this year too. Not different, but you got guys returning. You got a healthy Trey White. He wasn't there last year against Jets. That's 1. 2, you got Micah Hyde back with Jordan Poyer, right? Both healthy. Jordan Poyer also was banged up in those games. You got a second-year player in Benford, right? Who's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Dane Jackson, who had a good preseason, whether you guys like him or not, he still did have a pretty good preseason. And then you got Gregory Rousseau, who's gotten better. So I feel like our defense has definitely gotten better. And then we have the additions, right? Leonard Floyd and Puna Ford, and AJ Epinesa, who had a good year last year. So they're seeing a way different defense as well, and a McDermott defense that's different than what they saw against Frazier. It's a little bit more aggressive. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different look for them. It's not going to be the typical defensive pressure that they were getting from Frazier.
Yeah,
so it's
Groot, Sarah, you're right. Groot, having Groot back healthy, and we know
Oliver healthy.
We know it's an expression, Sarah. We're just trying to give you the positives,
right?
Try to give you the positives that make that
make
nervousness
you feel
go
better.
away.
Yeah,
make that nervousness go away.
Right.
Jessica comes in. Do you think we'll be 12 at 50% of snaps? I don't know if we'll be 12 at 50% of snaps. I can see us being 12 at about between 35 and 40% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
We will be interested to see how much they use that formation though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like us to see us at 50% of the snaps because we just paid a first round pick for our tight end, and we're paying $14 million for the other tight end. I would like to see them both on the field at least half the snaps.
I would too. I definitely would.
It'll be interesting.
Yep. Any more guys, by the way, if you guys want to call in, now's your chance because we are getting out of here soon. I do got some stuff I want to say before we go more into the chat. Tomorrow at 6:00, Saturday night, right? Is going to be AFC East Shakedown. It is back. We have a full team now. We have a Jets content guy. The Patriots guys are back, right? Curtis from Ace Per Head. So that's 6:00. You're going to want to hear what all these dudes have to say about their squad. It's going to be a good show. That is Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to be a guest on Spears Bills Talk. So I will be there. I'm not sure the time yet, guys. So I will be a guest on his show. So support the dude. Go over there and I'll be on Sunday with him. So just look out for that and show him some love.
Yeah. Buffalo man comes in and says he thinks the Jets win. Wow. Okay. Ooh. I mean, even if we lost week 1, it's not the end of the world.
I can't wait to do our predictions.
Yeah. Like really, even if we lose week 1, it's not the end of the world.
No,
I don't think we will. I don't think we will, but it's not the end of the world.
It's weird how the Bills like in this the way we've been doing season after season, right? The Bills usually start off okay. It's the middle of the season is where we have our hiccups, and then we go on usually on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak into the playoffs. It's been that way except for 2020 when we had that really, really good year where we were solid all season. But 2021, remember, started bad. Remember? And everyone was like, oh, it's going to be the Patriots are going to take the division. Remember? And we wind up winning 5 in a row. It was after the Tampa loss, and we went on an epic run. And then 2022, same thing last year. We started off good. It's gotten a little the 2-game losing streak. We were playing a little bad ball there. Minnesota. We lost to the Jets, Minnesota, remember? And everyone's like, oh, the Bills. And then we wound up going on this streak again. finished 13-3. So I'm just saying the way we played, you know, for the most part, we always start off decent and then wind up hitting a little bumpy road. And then it's about how you finish, Mikey. You know that. It's not about how you start. So if you did lose week 1, which I don't think we will, it's not the end of the world for this team. Now you'll hear a lot of chatter. I promise you that. Yeah. You're gonna hear a lot of talk, depending on how that.
Dunn calls it here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said Dunn calls it here. Says if we lose week 1, you think it's bad now, Jets fan? They're gonna be like the Dolphins fan were last year.
The worst.
Last year's week 3 loss. The Bills are gone
media too. Yeah. Oh,
and the year before that, it was the Patriots fan after the win game. The Bills are done.
I remember. Yes, I'm saying. I think that was the 2021 game that season.
Yeah. Like we always lose one in the opening. You know,
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh and then
that?
Miami.
Oh my God, that was 2021, I think.
Yep. And then last year was Miami in week 3. We just had an epic meltdown.
Yes, a serious.
So
right.
I can see. If that did happen, I don't think it's gonna happen. Let me make that point abundantly clear. I think the Bills are on a mission this year.
I do too.
I really do.
I do too.
So, all right, Tommy.
I guess no calls. I guess we had one call.
That's all right.
Y'all, man. Hey, we gave you the option. It was there. Y'all didn't want to call in. That's all right. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. We're gonna still try this again. We will still have the live call in when we go live on. I think we'll do it post games because I think that's when more people will call in. And we'll do Friday nights, Mikey, on the call-ins. Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, Sarah, I forgot about the Jags loss. That was just horrible.
Oh, the 9-6 game.
God, right? that was so bad. I forgot about that one.
That was bad, and everyone was like, because Josh Allen, not our Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The Jags, Josh Allen, hell of a game. Like he tore it up. He took all his aggression on us.
Tommy, the chat didn't agree for us to stop the show now.
oh, sorry.
It's all good.
Oh, by the way, real quick before we get out of here too.
Yep.
For the people that jumped on here late, I'm gonna say it again. We just got a membership thing on YouTube. So if you guys want to help support the channel, it's $4.99 a month. You'll get exclusive videos. And then all the little other perks, all the perks are there when you go to sign up. You don't have to do it, but it will help our channel grow. So if you want to know how you do that, on the video, you will see it says join. You just click join and then you go from there. So thank you again. Anything else that we're missing?
Nothing that we're missing. I'm really excited for our Monday show, our prediction show. We're going to go through and, Scott Blakely will catch that one and he'll be able to say he's 20-0. I'm excited for the prediction show because we're going to talk about the over and unders. We're going to go through the schedule. I will tell you week 1, I have us beating the Jets. With that,
I do too.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. By the way, Beth, tomorrow, because I know you just got on here tomorrow at 6:00. Show's already scheduled, but 6:00 AFC Shakedown. So by the way, everybody hit the notification bell. I know a lot of you guys don't do that. If you hit it, it'll tell you when we're live. It's going to tell you. It's going to notify you. So anyways, Bills Mafia, we love you. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.